Hello there, my fellow creatures of the night. I am Baron Bones, and today I finished talking about the mainstay Conjuring series with The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It. So, The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It, has a slightly different creative team. Michael Chavez was brought on to direct, partially due to the fact that James Wan was relatively busy at the time, and David Leslie Johnson was brought on to write the screenplay all by himself, unlike the previous Conjuring installment where he had to just write up the dialogue a little bit. So, with all that being said, The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It, was released on June 4th, 2021, and it was a little bit of a mid-response. Yes, it was successful at the box office. It was released on a budget of under $40 million and made about around $206 million, but that's nowhere near as good as the $300 million of the previous two installments. And the critics for this one were more meh. They really didn't seem to enjoy this one nearly as much as they enjoyed the previous two installments. That being said, what do I think of it? Well, that's, let's just say I didn't like it. Let's start off by explaining the story a little bit. So in this one, we follow the Warrens, once again played by Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga, at the end of a case. This time, they're about to expel a demon from a kid when the demon jumps host, and the new host ends up murdering somebody. Now the Warrens must prove this kid is innocent and try to save him from, well, prison. So, yeah, on concept here, this is kind of interesting. For one, most of the movie, we follow the Warrens away from a haunted house. This is not a haunted house movie. And though I admire that, because the haunted house aspect had been played to death at this point, the execution is a little lackluster. For one, the previous installments were able to balance the Warrens with the other family they were trying to help, and it always felt like that balance was well maintained. Here, we seem to follow the Warrens a little bit too much, in my opinion, and don't give much credence to the others experiencing the phenomenon that they're trying to help. And furthermore, the main conflict in this movie is a little over the top and ridiculous for this franchise. Yes, we've seen them battle literal demons, which is already a little bit over the top at times, but I've always felt like they managed to stick to some level of realism in the previous two installments. Yes, the ending in the second film does push that boundary a little bit beyond, but this film goes full-on crazy sometimes, and is absolutely ridiculous with some of the concepts it's trying to push onto the audience. Furthermore, since we don't get to spend a lot of time with the individual who was possessed and committed the murder, we don't really fully feel sympathetic, I feel like. I mean, he's not a bad character, he just isn't as developed as previous characters in the Conjuring franchise. And he's supposed to play a major role in the film, and that feels like a wasted opportunity. As it stands, there is a lot of problems here, and it feels like they really ran out of ideas and wanted to push this new creative inventive idea without fully realizing what that would mean, or fully, coming up with a well-rounded story to make it work. Yes, I love that we get out of the haunted house finally, but I don't enjoy the fact that we took away from what made the Conjuring movies good, the good aspects of them. There were a couple of them. I mean, seriously. I really enjoyed when we were focusing both on the Warrens and other families, and managing to balance that really well. Here, it feels lackluster. And that's the entire feeling of the film overall. It's just not good. And everything that does happen in it is still predictable. And that's a problem. At the end of the day, I'm going to give The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, a 3 out of 10. By far, this is the worst movie in the mainstay Conjuring series. Now, I said earlier I wouldn't review the spin-offs, and I intend to stick to that. At some point down the road, I might decide to review those movies, but as it stands, this film is the worst, and The Conjuring 2 is definitely the best of the mainstay Conjuring films. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my review of the Conjuring films. Hopefully I can put out different content now. This took me a little bit longer than I wanted it to. But I hope you enjoyed the show. I'm Baron Bones, and remember, stay terrified.